What's on interwebs? Welcome to the Storytime Podcast Season 2, where we're going through my second book I've ever written, first of a planned 8-book series, Marks of Eilira, Strangers from Another World, Book 1. It doesn't have a Book 1 on the cover, does it?
I don't know.
It's right over there. Why don't you look? Come on, Adam. Do your job.
Okay, Tim, I'll do my job.
Do your job.
No, there is no book 1 on here.
Okay. But still Book 1 of what was supposed to be an 8-book series. Anyway, if you're new to the Storytime Podcast, this is where Adam, say hi, Adam.
Hi, Adam.
Reads a chapter from the book, and then we discuss it. By the way, I'm Tim.
I'm Adam.
Oh, wow. Your name's Adam?
Hi, Adam. I'm Adam.
I love it. I was editing through other podcast episodes, and it was like, say hi, Adam. Hi, Adam. And then I'd go like, by the way, I'm Tim. I'm Adam.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
But I feel like an NPC over here sometimes.
Yeah, I know. It's like, say hi, Adam.
It's a good day for fishing, ain't it?
By the way, Adam, did you do the homework? Did you do your homework?
I never do homework, okay, man?
Well, that's going to make this podcast really odd.
I know.
Anyway, before we get to the reading, why don't you go and do some things for us? If you enjoy it, why don't you smash that like button and do it? Do it as a prayer to the holy algorithm.
The holy algorithm.
And subscribe because I got content on this channel because it is a writing channel. But if you're not in the mood for some more writing content, why don't you go out and check out Adam's terrible gameplay channel, ZOP Gaming. Adam, plug your terrible channel.
We are better than terrible. We are the ultimate mid.
You're not mid yet.
Even our humor is pretty mid.
The guy who's playing Red Dead Redemption 2, he's good.
You know, that
Better than the guy who played Tomb Raider and God of War.
That is certainly an opinion someone has.
But yeah, so check that out. With that being said, and all that out of the way, let's get to the reading of Chapter 8. And we'll be back to discuss.
Chapter 8. A Day with Penny. The next day, Zach woke up fully refreshed, but did not want to go back to school. The only upside was that it was the last day of his lunch detention. Then he could start having lunch with Ryan and Violet again. Zach pulled off the covers, put both feet on the floor, and stood up stretching. He walked across the room to his closet and pulled out a pair of jeans, and then over to his dresser to get socks, a fresh pair of boxers, and a shirt. Once he had his clothes for the day, he walked to the door by his bed and opened it, which led to his bathroom. About 30 minutes later, Zach re-emerged from the bathroom, fully dressed, hair still wet from the shower, brushing his teeth. As he searches his floor for his shoes, once he finds them, he sits in his desk chair that is on the other side of his dresser and puts his shoes on. After getting both shoes on, Zach looks up and glances at his alarm clock, and then back at his desk. When his eyes widen and he cranks his neck back to see his alarm clock reading 9:32, he overslept, which explained why he did not hear his alarm go off. Zach shot to his feet, ran into the bathroom, spat the glob of toothpaste on the sink, and rushed out of his bathroom, grabbed his backpack by his bedroom door, and whipped open the door and flew into the hall. He ran down the hall, and when he came back stairs that led to the kitchen, he took the steps 2 at a time. Halfway down the stairs, he barely missed a step and was thrown off balance, but Zach grabbed the wall to keep him from going down. Once he had his balance back, he continued down the stairs. He hopped to the kitchen floor off the 4th step, and as he landed, there was a loud thud that shook the house. Zach threw his backpack on the counter as he opened the fridge to grab something to eat and shut the door. All that was going through his mind was how he was going to get to school and explain that he overslept and did not have a note. He was so worried about that, he almost completely missed the note on the fridge for him. As he shut the fridge, he headed for his backpack, but stopped, noticing that the paper taped to the fridge was for him. He pulled it down from the fridge and began to read. Zach, I turned your alarm clock off after hearing that school was canceled due to the attack at the dance. They wanted to make arrangements to make sure the school was safe after 2 school attacks. There will be school tomorrow, though. Enjoy your day off. Love, Mom. Zach took a deep breath of relief, knowing that he did not oversleep, and finally something about the mark on the back of his neck was starting to be something good for him. Without having to go to school, he put back what he grabbed from the fridge, pulled out the milk, and ate some Fruity Pebbles and some orange juice. He took his breakfast into the living room and turned on the TV. Once he finished his breakfast, he grabbed the phone and called Ryan, but he only got his answering machine. So he called Violet and got her answering machine. so Zach sat and watched TV until 10. Then he decided to go over to Ryan's house since he was not answering. Knowing him, said Zach to himself, he's still sleeping. About 10 minutes later, Zach was knocking on the side door of Ryan's house, but no one answered. He knew his parents had to go to work, but he still should have been there. At least that is what Zach thought. After 10 minutes of knocking, he decided to try Violet's house. When they arrived, he saw her dad's car was missing and knocked, but she did not answer. The day just turned into a nightmare. School was canceled, yet his two best friends were not home to hang out with. Zach headed home and turned on the TV, which he only watched for another 10 minutes since nothing was on that interested him. So he decided to play some video games, and that is what he did for the rest of the morning. Around noon, Zach went to get some lunch and saw a $10 bill laying on the table. He thought this money was for him because his mom never left money around. After all, she knew he would take it if she did. Zach would never go through his mother's purse, but if she left change or bills out and he saw them, he claimed them as his own. After looking at what his options were for lunch, he quickly decided he was going to use his money to go to McDonald's. So he grabbed his bike and rode 4 blocks on Richards Ave and came to Chestnut Street. He crossed the road and rode past the Methodist Church, crossed separately Lake Avenue, and about another block came to McD's. He rode right up to the bike rack, hopped off, chained up his bike, and walked inside. Zach was in luck. They had not yet started getting busy for the lunch rush. He jumped in line and within moments was giving his order. "Can I help who's next?" asked the cashier. "Yeah," said Zach as he moved up to the second cash register. "I'd like 2 double McCheeseburgers, 2 apple pies, and a large vanilla shake for here." "Will that be all?" asked the cashier. "Yeah," said Zach. "Your order comes to $5.56, said the cashier. Zach handed the cashier the 10 he found on the table, and the cashier handed him his change back and receipt. After getting his change, he moved to the left to allow the person in line to order. Only one other person was waiting for their order. He was a tall African-American who was dressed in a business suit. Zach waited for 3 minutes when another cashier handed him his order on a tray with his milkshake. He picked up the tray, went and found a spot, and began to eat. He had not taken more than 2 bites out of his first double cheeseburger when Penny walked in. Zach was stunned by how beautiful she was today, but he was like that every time he saw her. She wore a white tank top with a pink button-down shirt, unbuttoned with the ends tied in a knot, and blue jeans and white flip-flops. Penny had her hair down, and it just shone from the sunlight coming through the window. She saw Zach as soon as she walked in and walked over to him. "Hey, Zach," said Penny. "Enjoying your school-free day?" "You bet," said Zach. "Just wish Violet and Ryan were around." "Where are they?" asked Penny. "I was hoping to see Violet today so I could say I was sorry for being so mean at the dance." "I'm not sure where she is," said Zach. "I'm sure she wants to apologize as well. What are you doing with your day off?" "I was hanging out with Ernie," Penny said. "Oh," said Zach. "But," Penny said, "he was just sitting on his butt, playing video games, and told me that is what he was going to do all day. So I left to do something else and got hungry." "Are you eating here?" Zach asked. "Because if you are, you could join me." "Okay," said Penny. "Let me go order." Penny headed over to the line that was starting to grow, but only had 5 people in it, and with 3 cashiers, it would not take long for her to get her order. Zach started to think this day was starting to get better. Sure, he would have liked to have spent the day with his best friends, but getting to have lunch with the girl of his dreams was just as good, maybe even better, since it was most likely not going to happen again. A few minutes later, Penny returned with a tray with a salad, yogurt, and a medium drink. The two sat and talked as they ate their lunch. It was like old times for them, back before anyone knew who Penny was and was popular. Several times while they talked, Zach pinched himself to make sure he was not dreaming, because it was just too good to be true. After they finished eating, they headed out of the building. Zach got his bike, and he took a bold move and asked Penny if she wanted to go back to his house and watch a movie, thinking she would say no, and she was dating Ernie. To his surprise, she said yes. Zach walked his bike back to his house since Penny had walked to McDonald's. Took them about 15 minutes to get back to his house, and once there, they looked through all the movies Zach owned, which were a lot. He handed over 300 movies. Most of them belonged to his former foster father. He left them behind when he vanished. After browsing for a while, they picked one. Zach put it in the DVD player while Penny took a seat on the couch. Once the DVD player closed, Zach turned and walked over and sat down in an armchair next to the couch. From Penny's face, she was a little confused about why he sat there, but she just moved over to the end of the couch. The movie lasted 2 hours, and when it was over, they decided to watch another since neither of them could think of anything else to watch and nothing good was on TV. After putting the second DVD in, Zach sat down on the couch next to Penny. He had become more comfortable and braver now that they had watched a movie, and she was staying around to watch another. During the second movie, Zach got up and made some popcorn, brought it in, and took a bigger chance and put his arm on the back of the couch, not around her. Penny saw this and just leaned back so the back of her head had rested on his arm. When she did this, Zach pinched himself again just to make sure one last time. When the movie ended, it was almost 5, but neither of them moved other than to turn to look at each other. They began to talk about the guy who attacked Zach twice. Normally, he would have snapped at the first mention of it since he was not happy with what was going on, but since Penny had no clue what was happening, he did not mind talking to her. Even if she did know, he still would talk about it with her. "Why do you think this guy keeps attacking you?" asked Penny. "I have no clue," said Zach. "I don't even know who this guy is. Maybe he thinks my family is rich and by kidnapping me, he could get a big ransom. Little does he know, my mom can barely afford this house. If it were not for Violet's dad paying the back payments on the loan, we would have been kicked out a year ago." "Oh, that's nice of him," said Penny. "I'm surprised she hasn't tried to use that to get you to go out with her." "Violet's not that kind of girl," said Zach. "I know she still likes me. I understand why Ryan and I talked about it after the dance. She thought after you stopped hanging out with us, I would start liking her again. But since that did not happen, she cannot understand this, and as much as she tries to let go of her feelings, she refuses since she thinks it's stupid that I like the girl who ditched me and not the girl who stayed by my side." "I tried to explain to her that I did not mean to ditch you guys," said Penny. "I've never been popular before, and to come back here where I was not before and to have all these popular guys thinking I'm attractive, it just kind of went with it." "That's what I was trying to tell her," said Zach. "She refuses to listen and thinks you're some awful person." "I know you're not." At that moment, Zach reached over and touched Penny's hand, and as soon as he touched her, a jolt of electricity shot through their hands into their bodies. Zach could not believe the feeling that he had from this. Her skin was so smooth and silky, but beyond that, he felt a connection with her. He could tell Penny felt it too when he touched her, and Zach decided to go for it. He slowly started to lean in, and as soon as he started to move, Penny did as well. Their faces slowly came closer and closer, and as their lips were about to meet, the front door flew open. They both jerked their heads to see Zach's mom walk into the house with both arms carrying several bags of groceries. Behind her, Violet followed, helping her by carrying a few more bags, but when she saw Zach and Penny sitting on the couch very close, she froze. Zach could tell she was not happy seeing him with Penny, and not wanting another fight, he jumped to his feet. "Are there any more bags in the car?" asked Zach. "No," said his mom. "Violet got the last 2. Violet, at that moment, came to and walked into the kitchen and placed the bags on the counter. Penny could tell it was time to go and got up and walked over to Zach, who was not in the dining room. "I'm going to go," said Penny. "It's close to dinner and my dad is going to want me home." "Okay," said Zach. "It was fun hanging out today." "It sure was," said Penny. Penny leaned over and gave him a peek at the cheek before walking out the front door and closing it behind her. As soon as the door closed, Zach reached up and touched his cheek. He did not want to ever wash his face, or at least that cheek, ever again. He then turned to go into the kitchen when he saw Violet standing in the doorway. "What were you going to do with her?" asked Violet. "Because I can," said Zach, walking back into the living room. "After everything that has happened," Violet said, "you still think you're friends?" "Yes," said Zach. "We hung out the whole day." "Why was that?" "Because Ernie was being lazy and sat on his ass all day," said Zach. "See," said Violet, "she only hung out with you because Ernie and her other friends were not around. When are you going to see that she is only willing to be your friend when it is in her best interest?" "It's not like that," said Zach. "It was like old times today, and even admitted to why she ditched us and was going to start making things right." "You are so blind," said Violet. "She's just using you and your feelings against you." "No, she's not," said Zach. "How do you know she's not?" asked Violet. I just know," said Zach. "Something that happened told me." "What happened?" asked Violet. "I don't have to answer you. You're not my girlfriend," said Zach. "If you were really my friend, you would be happy that I get a chance to hang out with the girl I like." That hit home for Violet. She took a deep breath and lowered her voice. "I'm sorry," said Violet. "I'm just jealous. I know I shouldn't be." "You got that right," said Zach. "If you want to know what happened, That tells me that she is not just using my feelings. Then fine. I'll tell you I wasn't going to, but I am now. If you and my mom hadn't come in when you did, she and I would have kissed. Violet was not happy to hear this, but she tried not to show it. You know what? Said Zach. I think you're the guilty one. You are so desperate for me to like you back that you have to resort to a bet to get me to go on a date with you. If you think my feelings are going to change after one date, you can forget about it. That is not going to happen. I'm going to go on that date because I'm a man of my word. This was all Violet could take. Tears started to roll down her face, and she turned and walked over to the front door, opened it, and ran out, leaving the door open. Zach walked over and slammed the door shut. When he looked up, he saw his mom standing in the doorway. You went too far, said his mom. I know, said Zach. I don't care at the moment. I am too pissed. Zach went up to his room, threw himself on his bed, and tried to calm down. Started to think about his day, about how his day was so great, and it would have been perfect if he had kissed Penny. He started to wonder how that would affect things with her and Ernie. Will she now break up with him? Or does he need another day like today before she will do that? After dinner, Zach started to feel bad about what he said to Violet, so he gave her a call, but her dad answered, and he told him she did not want to speak with him. With that said, he hung up the phone. Zach knew he had gone too far and needed to make it up to Violet. He planned to apologize to her on the bus before school.
All right, Adam. So it happened.
Yes, it did.
Penny got more than one line.
Yeah.
Again.
I know.
I mean, she got more than one line at the dance, but she got...
I still don't have a distinct Penny voice yet.
Well, you haven't seen her. This is her third real appearance and most screen page time that we've had.
I also wish to apologize to everyone for my voice being scratchy and not being able to be as distinct as I normally am. I'm still coming off a cold, okay?
It happens.
Once a year for me.
Yeah.
It's right in like January, February.
When we're recording an episode, these podcasts.
We get like halfway into it and suddenly I have to take time off and not read for like 2 straight weeks.
Okay, so Adam doesn't know how to count because this is 8 of 25. It's not halfway through.
Whatever.
Learn to count. You're better than I can. I can't count higher than 4.
That's okay.
Oh, I say that to the kids all the time. I'll be like, I'm this many, and I hold up 5, and like, I can't count higher than 4.
Yeah, sorry.
A few times I've actually had a new student who comes to the program this year. When I said that the first time, she just started singing the song to herself. I'm like, you know that.
Oh, you understand the old magic.
You know the old ways.
Aha, the memes are strong with this one.
You're cool. I'm still gonna yell at you if you do something wrong, but you're cool.
Of course.
But yes. But so Adam, overall thoughts on this chapter?
It's certainly a chapter of this book.
Yes, it is.
And
would you call it the first not down chapter, like a downward chapter, like a not bad chapter, just not a complete chapter?
No. It's certainly it's a filler episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing really happens.
No, stuff happens
at the very end.
No, stuff happens, but it's one of those things where because Violet became a character, everything for Penny got mixed up. Because because Penny,
look, I gotta be honest. Penny is not a good character right now.
Oh no! Oh, trust me.
Like as a person,
I have some notes here for her. Some advice for Penny, and it might affect Zach. That advice might affect Zach too. But
really?
Oh no, for her thoughts on Zach. But because the original idea, because I don't mind telling this because the story evolved beyond this. But at this point, the obviously this is here to build towards a relationship for Penny and Zach later on down the line in later books.
Yeah.
Because originally, in my first viewpoint, the original idea for this was Penny was going to be in here. She was kind of still still in the role she is now.
Yeah. Not part of the central group.
But she was going to go with them. She was going to be the one who gets kidnapped I believe, by shortly. Oops, spoilers for the next chapter.
Spoiler? Dude. No warning, too. I
know.
can't believe it.
I know. Sorry. Maybe we should do after this do a little spoilers for the podcast for future episodes.
No, not at all.
No. Yeah. She was supposed to be, and I was gonna change things with her and Ernie, but it quickly. By the time I got to the actual writing this first draft, I brought Violet in to play that role because I didn't know. I think I couldn't figure because it was around the time I was doing synopsis, full blown free writing synopsis for each of these books until I got to book 8, where my long held theme. We talked about this. I'm pretty sure in the prologue episode.
Okay.
The intro is labeled on YouTube because who's gonna say prologue?
Episode 1.
Nope, it's the prologue.
No, it's the first episode of this series.
Nope, it's the prologue. Anyway, I think I mentioned in there is like I got to a point in this where I said when Zach gets these 7 things, it kills anyone who has a fake one, and all the bad guys had them.
So he just killed everyone off.
So how do you? And he gets them at the end of book 7. So how do you have a book 8
if every one of the bad guys dies?
And by talking to a friend who was no help whatsoever, it's kind of like how I work with AI when I do my brainstorming.
Yeah.
I go, here's this. Give me some ideas for this. No, that's terrible. No, I'm looking for this. I explain a little bit more. It comes back with better. Before I know it, I solved the problem myself by trying to explain to a stupid AI.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I think that's actually the best thing for AI.
No,
is to use it as a sounding board.
Yeah, and that's what I use it for. And if I want specific feedback on an outline, just weaknesses.
Yeah.
Information I might be missing that I know that may need to be there because it's a good thing. Anyway, but I was telling this to my friend it was right after a few weeks after we got out of college for the semester, and I'm back home working on this, and before I know it, I was like, wait, the main villain's goal is what we're trying to stop. What if we're supposed to do that? What if the main purpose of the true king is supposed to do that, but the way the main villain is going to go about it is wrong? And I'm like, okay,
all right,
I like that. Oh wait, how does that work? I had to figure out how it worked, and then I basically did a chapter by chapter, 64-page outline,
Jesus.
like numbers, bullets, like for each. It basically became chapters.
Yeah.
Of that final book, and I'm like, well, none of my other books are all synopsis, so I had to go through. I think around that time I was going through book 1. I think is when I introduced Violet, and changed everything, and wanted to get to writing, wanted to get published. Though, again,
yeah,
you had to get an agent at this point. This was not the way you can do self-publish now, people.
That's true.
You had to go the old-fashioned way, an agent who had to deem you worthy.
Yep.
Of it. And go through traditional.
And then their job is to shop it to publishers for you.
So a lot of early just didn't fix the problems. Okay, what does this do? This will eventually lead to for Violet's arc down the line. But anyway, it just comes down to so Penny, while she's here, it's really for later books, and it could have been saved. Now I'm thinking about it. The more I think about it, I could have introduced her later books.
Oh, probably.
Start with Violet. Maybe still have that conflict with them in the relationship.
Yeah.
But it's not a specific girl. He's just he wants to be with a popular girl.
Well, what middle schooler doesn't want to be with a popular girl?
Well, he really does care and has feelings for, but Penny just kind of got in that mixed up spot, and it's really her role is for later books that in later versions of the story got put onto someone else. I really lost Penny's purpose until I revamped it into 6 books and really Clock of Ages, where she kind of found another new role, but even then she's kind of lacking in there too. So it's one of those things. Penny is one of those characters, her role kept getting moved around.
Hmm.
And just
that's awesome.
But anyway, overall
Yes.
thoughts for this.
Overall thoughts, I still say it feels like, yes, there was, advancement and, character development, but still feels like it's a filler episode.
Yeah, being my second book, still not figuring out how to layer in the
Whatever,
elements.
like, the reason I say that is that it was obvious that you just took the sidekicks, pulled them away for no other reason than I just felt like doing it, and like gave a reason for this other Penny and Zach spending time together to just happen.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it doesn't feel like that should have happened.
Basically, I can't really remember the reason why, other than to try to build that.
Yeah.
I remember this was me trying to bring Penny back into the fold. Like, they saying, no, her real motives were, I just kind of got caught up.
Yeah.
I do want to be friends with you and everything. But when we get to my notes and everything, I'll give you that. But, like, it was there. So, but how do you do that with Violet there, who's dead against it?
I know.
Yes, you could maybe had Ryan there for it. But he would have been a voice for Violet in a sense.
Of course.
Like, yeah, he's been friends with her too, but like he's been that middleman. So let's just pull them away. Let's go back to give Violet more fuel.
Oh yeah.
Well, of course, he didn't. She spent time with you because reason Ernie said he was just gonna be lazy, but we actually see no, she's sticking around when she could have gone.
Yeah.
And everything. So it's really trying to build something that's not going to pay off for several books a little too fast. But at the same time, I have a note that I would change for this when we get to how I would fix this chapter. But let's go through the story. Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously Zach wakes up and he's eventually quickly realizes, oh fuck, I slept in. Wait.
Yeah.
My first note, like, why didn't your mom let you know you slept in until 9:30?
And yeah.
Or something like that, or something like that. But I get it. We're focused on it through Zach's.
Right.
Here, not realizing it, getting worried. How am I gonna get there? Seeing the note. Oh, school's been canceled.
Oh.
It only took 2, as I put in my notes, school attacks in quotes.
Yes. For one day of canceled school.
But one day they want to make sure it's secure.
Yeah.
But then he's like, okay, so I'm gonna have Fruity Pebbles. Just random Fruity Pebbles reference there.
And then,
but
for me, the weird part of this, like, yes, that's cool. You described him getting ready for the morning and all that stuff.
in great detail.
For me, this is clearly just, is this a dream? Is Ryan and Violet also completely having the day off? School's also been canceled for them. Not being anywhere.
They are somewhere.
Where did Ryan go?
I think I know where they are. I think
Violet, it turns out, was hanging out with Zach's mom.
Nope.
No?
I think we were told in the next chapter.
Okay.
But basically, they went with their parents to work. I know. 2 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds.
Yeah.
Whatever, how old they're supposed to be at this point, because I cannot remember for this draft.
Yeah, it's something like that. Like,
I think they're supposed to be in 8th grade, but in
they're
later
middle
drafts.
schoolers.
Yeah, I think in later drafts, I bumped both him and Violet to 7th grade.
They're about the same age as Sailor Moon.
Yeah. So.
Remember that, everyone. Sailor Moon's in middle school.
Doesn't look like a middle schooler. Jeez.
And she has, and Tuxedo, the Tuxedo guy?
Oh, yeah, he's like.
He's in college.
Yeah. No, I know.
Anyway.
But yeah, so we see Zach just kind of going, like, watch TV, play some video games. Then he decides to go hang out with
He's like, you know what? They weren't answering the phone. I'm going to their houses.
Yep. Because remember, this is around the time there were no. I was writing this at a time where cell phones were not as prevalent.
No, I totally understand that.
So if you're listening to this and you're not in your late,
You're like, wouldn't they have just been texting with each other?
Nope.
No, there was no texting. It was actually faster to call people than to text at this time.
You could text, but you were using an old pad where letters were on a certain number.
Yeah, so you had. You wanted V? Good luck with that one.
Yeah. You wanted O, you had to go over here and hit that like 3 times before you got to O. Yeah, it was
not fun.
No. So it's just easier to go over to their house and that. Find out they're not there. Questions come back. You know what? Fine, I'm hungry. I'm not gonna play.
Oh, I'm gonna go to McDonald's, bro.
Goes to McDonald's and everything.
Mickey D's.
And then while he's there, runs into Penny, who's
who's just going there to get a lunch as well.
I was getting the lunch because Ernie.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. I have a note on that. Trust me, I have a note. I have a note on a lot of things about McDonald's.
No.
But anyway, Ernie's not. Just told her, I'm sitting here and playing video games all day long.
I'm just gonna, hey, pretty girl. I'm just gonna sit here and play video games all day.
You can serve me food, girl.
She's like, you know what?
No,
I'm leaving.
But yeah. So, just going back to where Violet and Ryan and not knowing why they may not have been home. In the last chapter, it mentioned they were gonna each have a police officer outside their house.
Yeah, there's no cops anymore.
Only on city police cars in state trooper jurisdiction are missing. Shouldn't I have told Zach? Of course, there's no mention at his house either. But don't you think that should have been a clue that no one's home because the police officers aren't there?
I don't know. You know.
Oh, and by the way, I do have to point out that it's nice of Zach to have a code about not going through his mom's purse to take money.
But if it's left on the counter,
anytime it's fair game. That's not steering. Finders keepers.
That is so bullshit.
Oh, and by the way, the Zach logic, that's actually going to be some Zach logic there. But I think the first thing I wrote down here was Zach thinking the mark is a good thing due to 2 school attacks got to cancel school for a day.
Yeah.
Zach logic. That's just a bad code a bad code. If you leave it out, it's fair game. But if you did your purse, yeah.
I won't go through that.
I won't go through that.
That's yours.
Oops. It fell out. That's the solution.
Falls off the counter. Yeah. He's like, you know what? I see so much on the floor. I'm take it. Oh. This credit card, mine now.
Oh, and you can tell that the time I wrote this in, because there's no way in hell you're getting 2 double cheeseburgers, 2 apple pies, and a large shake for $5.56.
It's more than $10 right now. Okay,
that's like 15.
Yeah,
between those, there's no the milkshake is there, but there is no way you're getting this now.
No,
Mickey D's got expensive.
2 McDoubles, that right there is like they're what, $3 a piece.
Yep. Then you get 2 apple pies. That's about $2 right there.
They're $2 a piece.
Yep. And then a large shake. It's
large
like 3. Like 3.
That's at least $4.
Yeah,
at this
probably.
Point.
Well, up here, maybe not in New York, but
we're looking at $15 right now.
Yeah.
And he was like $5.54.
Yep. So my thing was like $5.56 for 2 double cheeseburgers, 2 apple pies, and a large shake. Ha!
That is not happening.
And by the way, I have to point this out. I have no clue. No, none, zero, zilch, nada. Reason why I decided to point out the next person in line was an African American.
Just there.
I don't know. I couldn't remember. When I read that, I was like, why?
in my head, he was immediately 6'4",
Yeah.
impeccably dressed in
Yep.
a suit. Like that suit had like, okay, I'm saying the not loafers, but wonderful brown shoes. You can see the socks.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, this man is dressed nice.
Too good for Oniana.
Too good for McDonald's.
I know.
But he's there.
He's there because obviously he didn't grow up with money. He knows how to save money.
Exactly.
He's okay with eating at these restaurants.
Yeah, he's only going to get
He's gonna get a salad.
Yes, he's there for the. No, he's actually just getting chicken nuggets.
Yeah, just chicken nuggets. Hey,
Nuggets and sauce. And he's like, oh.
Oh, by the way, who the fuck orders a salad at McDonald's?
Okay, I was gonna say, yeah, her order
Yeah.
is so basic. That is basic white lady order.
You know what?
Medium drink,
You know what? I'm gonna come and say it.
salad, and what was the other thing?
Probably when I wrote this, I just had no idea, so I just went the sexist route. Girls eat salads. You're at McDonald's, she's gonna eat a salad. I don't know what. I'm not saying I did it on purpose. I'm just saying that's what I just went. Girls wouldn't eat this, so let me do this. I went
Salad, yogurt, medium drink.
Yep. Like I don't know, like why.
That is such a basic.
I know.
So,
Like it clearly, like I had like, what would a girl eat here?
no.
Okay, let's just go with salad.
What she?
But no one eats their salads.
No,
Especially at that time.
McDonald's was not a place you got a salad from. You go and get a burger. You get a sandwich. You
know.
get chicken nuggets.
They had salads.
That was it.
They had salads and
Yogurt.
yeah, I know. But yeah, the whole why I don't know. Don't know. I'm trying to. I want to give a
Yeah.
reason. I cannot. I forgot. I don't know. Anyway,
By the way, I also remember what this McDonald's would look like. I can almost describe. It's going to be the same thing. The color palette was a lot of brown, red, and tan.
no.
No.
This one was actually the McD's I use on Chestnut Street for Oniana in the town. The old one for a while was like that. I couldn't tell you when. I think maybe actually when I was actually in middle school or high school, they redid the whole thing. They actually put the big play because they used to have the playground outside. That's when they attached the play place on it. So it was a more bright, brighter, more modern-ish at that time.
Yeah.
Kind of if you go to McDonald's now, you'd see that, but just
Yeah, no, now it's all gray.
yeah, they had it was a more brighter than it ever was in there before. But yeah, it was not the other one. That's South Side's.
Okay, because that for up here was a common.
Oh no, it was.
That brown, the brown red tile floor.
It's they say that Mickey D's and Burger King had the same type, just for their colors.
Yes,
For the longest time.
but like that yellow.
Yep.
Everyone remembers the McDonald's yellow.
Yep. Oh, and by the way, I wanted to point this out because Zach says this like, I could spend a day with Penny.
Yeah.
And this may not happen again. Yo, Zach, maybe you should think through that thought you just had. Maybe that should be some sense that it may not happen again. Why is that? Because she's a bitch.
Yeah.
Violet told you this at the dance. Listen to the truth bomb she dropped on you.
She's literally only hanging out with you because Ernie is doing something she doesn't want to hang out with him for. That is the only reason.
Yes, that's actually the only reason. When I was writing this and planning this one, it was like, no. This like maybe that was the reason why she actually left. But when she ran into Zach, like, oh, wait, and they're not around. Oh, I can hang out with him, because she does. The whole point was always to show that yes, she wanted to hang out with them, but she just went in a different direction. But it's not written that way, and she's a total bitch.
Yes.
A stuck-up bitch, and we'll get there.
She literally abandoned a group of friends
Oh,
because she was now popular.
when we get to the conversation, we'll get there.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they hang out. They go back to watch a movie. But here's the thing. We actually get some backstory, a little backstory on Zach here.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Oh, by the way, I had to quick before we get to that part, something I just wanted to point out. I have no clue why we didn't actually see Zach ask Penny to come hang out with him.
Yeah.
We just get told it.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking it's like this whole thing with the lunch thing I could have just summed up. That is more important.
No.
Seeing Zach getting nervous about asking her.
No, just asked her, hey, you want to hang out and watch a movie?
You want to come back and hang out with mine? She's going to say no. She's going to say, oh, she said yes. Okay.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah. But yeah, learning more about Zach's stepfather. We actually learned a little more about it. The only other thing we've learned about him, he has a stepfather but apparently he now
had a lot of movies.
Has a lot of movies, and he abandoned them.
Yeah, he just left.
Oh, and
he went out for coffee.
And also, if Violet's dad is loaded, because he has to be if he made some back payments on him.
Yeah.
Why does Violet and him live in a one-story ranch house?
Maybe that's just what he wanted.
If you show, I could show you on the Google Maps the house that I used for their house.
But you never say that.
I know, but like it's
so
like
now people think that they live in a much better place.
They don't. They live on like honestly, those two should have switched house. That'd be more like her house I used should have been Zach's house, and the nice new houses that I used for Zach should have been theirs.
Yeah, where?
But we get a little bit of backstory on there because, trust me, in the big, longer story, Zach's stepfather plays a major role.
Turns out it was Violet's dad, too.
No.
Her real dad.
Nope.
This guy just kidnapped her.
Nope.
Bought her off the streets.
Nope.
No, okay.
But he has to be loaded if he's paying multiple late payments on a loan.
Yep.
They live in a one-story ranch house. And then we get when they finally get to after the movies, they start talking about stuff, and Penny actually coming clean, saying, "Yeah, I know, I never was popular, iconic there, but people thought I was good looking." Here's what I have to say about that: Penny, if I was there, I'd be like, take her by their shoulders and like, Penny, look at me, eyes here,
Look at me, I'm the captain now.
Maybe if the popular guys, all they can say about you is they think you're hot. Maybe they're not the right guys because all to get attention from. This includes Zach.
Yup. Zach is a terrible person.
Zach, I can see it there, and it's maybe just because
I mean,
it's
at the
in
same
my
time,
head.
You have nailed the teenage boy.
Oh yeah.
Like he is the perfect teenage boy who is literally like, I will abandon everything and change who I am to impress one popular girl.
And you know why that is? Because I said in the prologue episode, it's me. I'm using so much from me.
But that is the stereotypical true teenage boy.
And that's what I was for the longest time.
None of them stay true to themselves. Us guys, we don't stay true to ourselves until we are starting to be in our 20s, because that's where we go, yeah, but what am I?
If you haven't figured it out already.
Yeah, in your teens, it's just like, how do I impress girl? Do this? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I was trying to, Zach is a bad person. I know I was trying to build Zach up.
He's
for
not
liking,
bad.
No.
He's selfish.
Well, very selfish. I was trying to build Zach up in a way where, yes, he is supposed to be like, he likes Penny not because she's hot. Yes, that's a big factor, especially now that she's older.
Yeah.
But because of who he knew her as she was.
Right. If you had explained that more in the story,
yes,
it would have been good.
Well, no,
but that's not what you did.
I do kind of, it's hinted at there. But even if I hinted at it more, yeah, even if we hinted at it more, Adam, there's an issue. We never see it in the story, so we wouldn't know how well it is.
Right.
We're only seeing this version of Penny. But yeah. And I have to put this as they're talking of, Zach's going to kiss his crush. God damn it, Mom! I mean, Mrs. Park. And this is why you block the door. If they have a key, you lock the door. Give him a few more seconds.
Yeah, make them use the key.
Oh, but yeah, this is the thing I was gonna say here. But like, we get to the point where they get caught almost kissing, like really close to kissing. Walked in, Violet's there, not happy.
Where did Violet come from?
She was at work with her dad, and then she was coming over to say hi to Zach, and probably saw. I think the idea was she saw Mrs. Parks.
The way it comes across.
Oh no, it comes across that
Zach's mom took Violet out to go shopping and do errands, and let Zach fall asleep and stay asleep.
So you're
what?
So you're saying Zach and Skylar Grant have a lot in common?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and Violet didn't go set up the climax of the midpoint.
Right.
But no, but then we get the explosive argument.
Violet's reaction is justified. Violet is justified in this story so far.
Nah, yes, but no. Here's my thing. She's reacting like they are dating. They're a couple. The way she's reacting.
No. She's reacting as somebody who has a crush and has let it be known that she has a crush on this guy, who has not pushed her away and been like, no. Instead, he is still stringing her along by doing exactly to her what Penny has been doing to him.
In a sense. But this art specifically, the way her reaction is, I was saying, by saying, what were you doing with her? That's a girlfriend thing.
No. She's also realizes Penny is dating another guy. What are you doing?
No, this is...
Ernie will kick your ass as well. I am also protecting my friend here.
No, Violet is not thinking of Ernie. She's thinking of Zach has been alone with Penny this entire time. She's protecting her territory. She's seeing this through, yes, the girl who has a crush on him, but thinking that he does like me. He does, he just can't, once he gets past that, thinking the date will do, which is, we'll get to in a second of Zach there. But she has stepped over the line in this point. For the most part, she is right about things, everything she says here, but her reaction is too hard, in my opinion.
Nope.
Zach isn't in the right either. I'm not saying he's in the right either, but Violet's treating Zach, this whole situation, like they are together, and they're not. But I was just like, wow, Zach, way to care.
Way too.
Oh, way to cave into Violet what almost happened. Because he's saying, like, I'm not gonna tell you this, because I don't answer to you, because you're not my girlfriend. And then what does he do? After she calms down and actually gets, this is when she calms down and gets real, and now she's in the right.
Oh no, she was in the right from the beginning. The first
reaction is not in the right.
Yes,
but when she calms down, that's all he needs to brag, to rub it in that he was about to kiss her.
Yeah, and this is a middle school relationship.
Oh no.
So clearly, Penny does not have that much invested into Ernie at all.
Nope.
She's like, you know what? First chance I get, I'm finding somebody else.
But yeah, it's like he almost
and
happened.
Tattoo Boy over here, he's getting kind of popular. Yeah. People are talking about him. He's the hot thing now.
Yeah, he almost talking about it takes nothing for him to cave to tell her something. He just said, "I'm not going to tell you," till she knows that they almost kissed.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I just wrote this like, "You fight dirty, Zach. You fight dirty. I approve."
Oh, he is.
Oh, then he goes like, "Wow, rub the dirt in the wound that you just carved into Violet's heart, man. That is brutal." Using talking about the bet to get a date with him, thinking that's gonna rubbing the wound after saying that they almost kissed. Woo! Zach is a douchebag. And because not only is he a douchebag because of that, when he goes to his room, he goes and he's thinking about Penny.
Yeah.
Not what he did to Violet.
No.
Eventually he kind of does. But he's just like, oh man, that is a friend. I should probably feel bad. Let me call her. And he's not sorry.
No.
He's still high that he almost kissed Penny.
Oh, it was gonna happen.
Yep.
It was going to happen.
And this is what it is. Does he know he went too far? Does
No.
he? I don't think he does.
No.
I think he's like, because
He feels, by the end of this, he feels completely justified for all of his actions.
But here's the thing. I think I remember the reason why this chapter was here. The chapter was because we mentioned at the last few episodes, like the whole bad thing was trying to turn it around.
Yeah.
His feelings for Violet. He knows he hasn't. Maybe try to fix that. He just hasn't. He just can't admit that.
Yeah, this ruined that.
This is to get him to yank him back from that. That's the purpose of this chapter. And everything. So there's a little bit more purpose to a chapter. It needs to be reworked to fit that better.
Yeah.
But that was the purpose, to yank that back.
Okay.
So what comes next for the later of the book is more of a driving force in there.
All
okay,
right.
I know we need to wrap this up really soon, but quickly. How would you improve this chapter?
7 minutes ago, I gave you that
I know.
signal.
How would you improve this chapter?
Honestly, it's just how the narrative works. That it just kind of all the things that it accomplishes
Yep.
are the things that need to stay in here.
Yeah.
Nothing really needs to change. Just the prose needs to be gone through.
Pros.
It needs to be worked out a little bit better.
And I think that is tightening it up.
Oh, I mean, tighten it up. but I mean, at the same time, like,
And the
it's
one,
a perfect amount of time.
yeah. Well, I mean, just tightening it up, shrink the chapter length a little bit. It doesn't mean too much. Like Zacking ready and showing him we don't need that.
We didn't need all of that.
No. That was me trying to put the cat reading stuff and putting it there myself, thinking it's in there. When I did that, it's not in the book.
Yeah.
When I was reading books, thinking you're supposed to do that. You cut some stuff like that out, tighten up some things, maybe get about like showing Zach getting bored watching TV or something like that.
Could be. Yeah, no. Really?
I would keep the directions into McDonald's because you can. I like the idea of being able to follow. If you looked at Oniana or where he is, you could follow him to McDonald's.
Yeah. That's,
because it's not overly done.
right.
And I can just say streets. I'm saying streets.
Yeah.
He goes to this street, and then there he's like, in fact, paddling down the sidewalk, blah blah blah. Then gets to this one. Okay, now we're getting a little too detailed.
Yes.
Unless something important happens during that time,
No.
then we don't
It's
need
a quiet town.
to. But that and the big change I would have changed here was they actually kiss. And Violet's the first one through the door, not his mom.
Yeah.
Violet. Because now it just even further justifies in Zach's mind that Violet is treating him like they're dating. And in the view, and we're getting this from Zach's viewpoint, and my point of writing this was Violet is treating like the dating. But the thing is, the difference is between what we're seeing in Zach's viewpoint of you think we are together, we're not.
Right.
It's not gonna happen. You had to use a bet to get me to go on a date with you. It's not gonna work. But Violet, yes, she realizes that in the moment, like, crap, he's right. I am. We're not. She's able to come down and admit that. Zach can't. He sees weakness because she's willing to become vulnerable, and he just says, "Here's a dagger to the heart. Oh, here's some dirt. I'm gonna rub some dirt in there to make it sting."
I know.
So
Violet, for me, hands were waving back and forth as she was running out the door. Just no.
but that's
all the way home.
That's the big change. Is I'd make them actually kiss. Maybe not a long kiss, but like they just start kissing. The door opens up.
She ran past her bicycle, then came back, stopped, made eye contact with Zach, who was still standing in the door watching her with confusion in his eyes. And then she got back on her bike, started right away, and got to where she was previously on foot, then starts going, no!
Comes back, runs over, grabs Zach, kisses him, goes like this, runs back, then gets on the bike. When he gets, it's like, no.
No, you don't need the Zach kiss.
No, actually, honestly, now that I think about it, that would be an interesting twist on here if she kissed it, like maybe for the whole argument, or something like that. Or
I don't know.
It re-textualizes the entire. You have to rebuild the whole story around it.
Yeah, but no.
But I'm just saying it's an interesting idea if I did.
Yeah.
But we didn't. Anything else you want to add here?
That'll be it today.
Yeah, because it's. I mean, once I remembered the whole purpose of the chapter, because I didn't remember when we started this. It does serve a purpose, but it needs to be tightened up and reworked a little bit to really bring that out.
Yes.
But all right, with that said, you've made it this far. We're assuming you enjoyed it. What are your thoughts this chapter? Do you agree with us? Disagree with us? Comment down below. And since you made it this far, we are both assuming you liked it. So why don't you go and smash that like button and do it. Do it as a prayer to the holy algorithm.
The holy algorithm.
And subscribe, because I got other writing content on this channel that'll be on screen now. Pick something there. If you're not in the mood, make sure you check out Adam's terrible gameplay channel. They're mid.
Mid. We're not terrible.
They're below mid.
We're pretty good
At being mid.
at being okay.
And what's the name of your channel?
ZOP Gaming.
All right. Check out them. Check out something I have else on this channel. And we'll see you wherever you do. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.